So, as I had spoken about in yesterday's show, I was not able to watch the Montreal Canadiens win yet another hockey game. Fourth straight game, 4 wins in a row, and a bunch of them with 4 goals, too. So, nice to see the Montreal Canadiens come out on top 4-2 over the Buffalo Sabres. You can see the goal scorers in this contest. You had Cole Caufield, you had Alex Tuch, you had Jiri Kulich, who had given the Sabres a 2-1 lead, up until Josh Anderson scored, and then Alex Newhook, and then Jake Evans into the empty net. Newhook scoring at the very last second of the second period, by the way, so good to see the clutch factor coming in there. But the purpose of this video is not necessarily to talk about the Canadiens' 4-2 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. What I wanted to do instead was dive into some really interesting statistics that bring themselves up about this team and that place the Montreal Canadiens in a pretty good spot amongst the rest of the NHL. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel all in the process. Let's go over onto Sportsnet Stats' Twitter account, because they went out there and posted some really interesting notes heading into the Canadiens game yesterday. Like this. The Canadiens have 10 double-digit goal scorers this season, tied for the most in the National Hockey League. And if you had been paying attention to the game log and the score log, which we had just looked at a few minutes ago in this video, you would have noticed that the Montreal Canadiens added on to their double-digit goal scores on the year, because the Josh Anderson goal, the 2-2 tying goal, was his 10th, assisted by Dvorak and Lane Hutson. This puts Anderson at 10 goals on the year and thus puts the Montreal Canadiens in a spot where they now have 11 double-digit goal scorers. And Sportsnet Stats tweeted out the video. We can't play it, it's copyrighted material, but nice little drop pass there over to Josh Anderson, who, as the trailer, is able to find the back of the net. Now, if you head over to the Montreal Canadiens and their stat page, you'll see that the Habs have 11 guys at 10 or more goals. Heineman, Anderson, Doc, Armia, Slafkovsky, they each have 10. That's 5 right there. And then you have Alex Newhook with 12, Jake Evans with 12, Laine at 14, only in 32 games, by the way, what a stud. Gallagher at 15, Suzuki at 18, and Cole Caufield at 29. My question to you is, how would Ivan Demidov fare if he was playing this season? But I guess that's a question for next year after all, right? The Canadiens, though, do lead the league in 10-plus goal scores, and it's kind of ridiculous when you consider that half of them are only at 10, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you think about the circumstances, okay, Patrik Laine was going through some really big ups and downs this season. He played half the games, but he's already at 14 goals. Kirby Dach is out for the year, so that 10 is going to stay at 10. It's not going to increase. And Emil Heineman, as a guy who hasn't even been in the lineup for a good chunk of the year, is at 10 too. His goal-scoring prowess shall not be denied. You have other guys that are hovering around the mark too. Christian Dvorak is at 6, I think. Realistically, in a normal season, you probably should be expecting Christian Dvorak to hit 10 goals by this point on the year. I mean, what, 10 divided by 60 multiplied out by 82, that is a normal goals pace per season of about 13, 14, and Christian Dvorak has had 17, 18, 15 goal seasons in the past, so I think it's reasonable to say, hey, this guy probably should have been able to get 10 by now. Last year he had 5 goals in 30 games, so do the math, he should be at 10 exactly at this point if you were to use this point metric, but still, Christian Dvorak decline aside, there still is a lot to like out of the Canadiens and their goal scorers. Lane Hutson only has 4 goals, but he's got 42 assists, so good on him. One of the top point guys on the team. It is kind of nutty, though, to see Montreal hold this title of most 10-plus goal scorers in the league. But of course, this isn't even the only stat that we are talking about in this video, because Sportsnet Stats went out there and talked once more about Cole Caufield. He's got 29 goals on the season. When this tweet was posted, he had 28. Cole Caufield scores his 28th goal of the season, matching his career high set in 82 games last season. He has scored 16.1% at the time of the tweet's publication yesterday. He had scored 16.1% of all Canadiens goals this season, which was 4th highest of percentage team goals in the NHL. Tough stat to read, but what exactly does that mean? It is the 4th highest percentage of team goals, so there are only 3 other guys in the NHL whose goals on the season account for a higher percentage of total team goals than Caufield. And if I were to guess, not Washington. Alex Ovechkin has been fantastic, but the Caps are on fire with the rest of their goal scoring. Let's just go over to the NHL statistical breakdowns here. So, who's leading the league in goals right now? Probably Draisaitl, right? I'd say Draisaitl is up there. Maybe not Scheifele, because the Jets have been very good. It's probably Pastrnak. Yeah, maybe Draisaitl, let's say Pastrnak, and then maybe a guy who scores a lot of goals on a team that doesn't get too many goals. Yeah, Cole Caufield is in there too. So, probably one of these guys. I don't know. The Sportsnet stat tweet did not go out there and actually say what it was, but this isn't even the only Cole Caufield stat that we can dive into from SN Stats, because they did post about the Caufield goal yesterday. Caufield is now the first member of the Canadiens with 20 goals in fewer than 30 road games since Guy Lafleur in 1976-1977. And, yeah, I know what you might be thinking. Lego, why did you even bring this up? That's a baseball stat if I've ever heard a baseball stat. 20 goals in fewer than 30 road games? Like, okay, I mean, nice to see that the majority of Cole Caufield's goal scoring happens to be on the road, but like, still, what a ridiculous stat to go out there and tweet out. Guy Lafleur was pretty good, right? Yeah, I do think so. I'm not necessarily saying that Caufield is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but still, Guy Lafleur being a comparable name is a certain definite nice thing. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about some of these Montreal Canadiens stats, from the Guy Lafleurs to the Josh Andersons to everybody else on the team who has scored double-digit goals so far in the 24-25 season. There are 82 games on a year, so 20-something games remaining for the rest of these guys to catch up. Christian Dvorak, I'm looking at you. Can he get 4 goals in the span of 22 games? I think that's not unreasonable, but I don't know, man. It's Christian Dvorak. The goal scoring has been coming from literally everybody else on this team. So what's your mindset about the Canadiens and the stats? Let me know in the comment section. How do you feel about yesterday's game and the victoire? I'm not sure what it really is, but the victory for the Montreal Canadiens. What are your thoughts on how they're going to use this to force their way into the playoffs? Is it going to happen? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.